Hey fam, how you be? This round, the theme is apparently the Four of Swords. What I tend to think of whenever I see this card is like, you need to meditate more, okay? We keep telling you to meditate and you meditate, but I don't think you're taking it seriously, like it's not enough. Or it feels, it can be a bit too surface level. Like, okay, I'm going to follow this guided meditation on YouTube for like 10 minutes and then call it good and move on with the rest of my day. And it's like, no, meditate, really give in, turn off the music, turn off the guide, just go with the flow and what feels natural, assuming that you have time, right? You may be surprised by how long or short it is once you actually really, truly are able to get into that. Mind you, there are so many different forms of meditation. So if the stereotypical form just doesn't do it for you, that's fair. I just feel like I'm not the only one who needs this reminder right now that maybe something is becoming a bit too familiar and you've kind of just been getting caught up in other stuff and I don't know if I don't feel it's so much about like needing to keep adding to the protection or anything like that. It's just more for your mind, for settling your mind and opening your mind. Because if you're like me, it's kind of like dancing or sports, where you practice, you train, right? If you're trying to learn a new language, you're doing daily study, right? At least for an hour, right? It's that element to the spiritual awakening or whatever kind of wording you have for it, whatever's this beautiful transitional moment in life has been for you, right? That's more what I mean, because this person, like, the battle's done. We're putting the swords up on the wall, like decor, and getting everybody else's opinions and words, and you know what you need. We're getting that the heck out of here and remembering the sound of our own heartbeat, our own opinions. Why do I react this way? Why do I like the things I still like? Like, do they still fit me? Are things that, like the way I decorate, the way I dress, the music I'm listening to, while I'm not going to say her go and stop listening to whatever the heck, like really think about your intentions to not only speak with cognizance, but to live with it as well. Not aware of what others are doing, aware of what you yourself are doing. Is this conducive, right? So that's the theme for this round. What else do we got, hey? Okay, so we're starting off with the Four of Swords, and the next card, you know what? We're just going to do a good old split. Okay, fam. Just cutting the deck into three, pulling the middle to the top. The next card is the King of Wands. There's that evolution. Okay, but there's also alchemy happening here. And if you weren't able to get back in touch with your authentic self, your integrity, right? Because it was getting a bit compromised there, right? At some point it was in the past. And there are things that maybe right now you're not happy with that you want. And you're like, okay, let's go. Let's evolve this right here. You know what I mean? Like in the physical plane, right? But there's alchemy going. This isn't just Phoenix rising energy. Look at that throne. Look at the throne compared to the slab of concrete that it's that solid foundation that it's built upon, that it sits on, right? And the salamander buddy, because there are just things in life that you may be impervious to now, whether you realize it or not. And maybe you need to really realize it. Maybe that's a part of what's going on with these meditations, right? Maybe you're just simply at that point where what enabled you to pick up this habit, to get into this, is not needed. It's just comfortable. It's just a new form of what you know, right? Now it's time for that alchemy to happen, because it's like, I don't feel so much like whomever I'm speaking to is quite there yet, but it's like the precipice. You know what I mean? It's like there's one more epiphany that's coming in, that's going to enable you to sit back and look at this like, oh, like he's looking at that like, yeah, I really needed to do that. I really needed that time to just, you know, and don't worry about masculine, feminine. I'm personally non-binary. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? This is energy. You're either doing like it's outward, you know, handling every business and moving on and evolving and alchemizing, or it's internal, right? And right now I'm seeing a bit of both, because it begins within us, right? It begins in our heart, it begins in our minds, and, you know, boosh happens, right? Chapter 3 in this story is the Eight of Pentacles, figuring out what needs not to apply, right? These cups are really freaking empty. How many cups in this suit with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck look empty? These ones, 8 exactly. Right? But the moon is present. It's like there are things that are still enabling this hermit moment, because we're continuing to evolve. Now that we've recognized this, okay, cool. Now I'm in a bit more of a comfortable position to be able to deal with this other stuff, because it's been such a season or a year or so of like really getting to those root causes, the nitty gritty, rather than playing with band-aids anymore, right? That's been a theme, fam. And bit by bit, you're recognizing more and more what just simply are not your priorities anymore. That like where your attention has been, that was such a habit you just didn't even realize how it was affecting you now, and kind of keeping you with one foot still in the past. It's just, nah. What's chapter 4? So this reading, fam, my goodness gracious, it's the 6 of Swords that I just drew. The frickin' 6 of Swords, all that turbulent water, those turbulent emotions that have been going on, that you've been dealing with, and just, no, I don't think I will. You know what I mean? My question is, who's in the boat? Right? My friend and I, an old buddy and I, used to have a joke where people that we were attracted to, you know, if we would like see them out and about, that was like our little inside joke of like, oh yeah, they're on the boat. Like the different, what would they do? Would that be like the captain? Would that be the chef? Would that, you know, what would their job be on our boat? It's so dumb. But for some reason, I just thought of that. So maybe, I mean... But my question, because I kind of feel, since we're dealing with the swords and the mind, that it's more internal. There's a side of you that can be so nurturing, that just wants everyone to be okay. And that's how it became so easy for you to become a people pleaser at whatever point. Because it's only natural for you to give a shit, right? And then that inner child is in there as well. Just needing a freaking break, man. Just needing a break, okay? But what do these 2 cards share in common? Right? That wand. They don't need a bunch of wands. They just need that one, because it's more a tool than anything else. It's you that gets to, just like with energy, if you want to talk about magic or just life, what do you want to do with it? What are you bringing to the table, right? What's going to come up underneath the 4 of Swords? Now that we got that top level, or that top row, layer was the only one that was coming to mind. What's coming up underneath the 4 of Swords to pair with it? Wow, fam. The freaking 8 of Swords? Are you kidding me right now? Listen to that plane up ahead. We're just gonna get you on out of there. Let's go. So the deal with this person is, I personally feel like their hands are not bound. They're holding their own tethers. They blindfolded themselves. I feel like a lot of us, we get so well trained to be cruel to ourselves, to stifle ourselves, that when that person, that crummy parent, that crummy boss, whoever the heck, planted those seeds in your brain, right, in your mind, you're so well trained that you do it to yourself when they're not even around. When you finally get to be that adult and you get to have your own place and decorate how you want and all that shit, but you're still dealing with those root issues, right? And this person can drop it at any time. And I feel like that's why this time meditation is so imperative. Because it isn't just about affirmations, is it? It isn't just about the law of attraction, the law of assumption. It isn't just about Christianity or any particular religion or any fad. It's about getting that head on right and being secure within yourself and knowing who you are. Because when you've been dealing with this kind of crap, it can be really difficult to truly grasp, to truly feel and know what you deserve. Because you know that when you're being treated wrong, that you don't deserve that. But it's like it gets so askewed that it's uncomfortable to recognize what you do deserve and to think of things in that way. So I feel like there's someone who's really been trying to do that work to get their head on right. And I feel like, as per usual, this is more encouragement. Like, yes, you're doing that work. There's a shift that's been occurring and you need to continue. You need to keep going, all right? You're figuring out who you really are underneath all those layers of PR firms and marketing, right? Yeah, because underneath the Six of Swords, wait a minute. I got the Six of Swords and the King of Wands mixed up when I put them back down. Fam, coming up underneath the King of Wands, actually, is the Three of Wands. You got that nice Vista point, the only good Vista. Fuck you, Microsoft, right? That, like, they're just looking out and they're like, okay, this is new. And maybe, you know, you had that awkward phase in the transition, right? But now it's like, okay, alrighty then. So let's keep going, because no backsies. We're not going back to this. Fuck that shit, right? We're moving forward. And that means that the world is literally in the palm of our hand. That's what's going on with the Two of Wands, right? We've already moved past that. We know it. So what's coming up underneath the Eight of Cups? Remember what I was saying about energy and masculine and feminine? The best thing is to have that lovely balance. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, you don't have to, it's cool, but you know. Dude, are you kidding me right now? Both the King and the Queen of Wands have joined the party. They've joined chat, fam. But she's coming up underneath those Eight of Cups, that internal, oh. See, I did things that were supposed to be into. I liked those things. I watched those shows. I bought that car. I did the thing. And it left me wanting. Okay, you know? So then I guess I'm just going to figure this out for myself. And also, fam, as far as I'm concerned, when she shows up, the Magician has shown up. This is the Witch of the Tarot. Whereas he has his little salamander buddy. She has her little black kitty, right? And the sunflowers to always remind you of where the light really is. That's within you, fam. His throne has lions, right? And hers has butterflies. Oh, no, they don't. I'm thinking of the swords, all right? I'm sorry, fam. She's got lions too. Listen. Yes, I am a baked potato. What's your point? Moving on. Underneath the Six of Swords, fam, is another 6. I gotta censor it because of Papa YouTube. And the last time I tried this, I really didn't. It was just right there for everyone. It's the Lover's card, fam. I want you to remember, if I'm not mistaken, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It's all good. The Tree of Knowledge and the Tree of Life are also represented in this card with that male and female. To me, whenever the tarot speaks of love, it always begins with self-love. It always begins with us. It's that, like, how are you supposed to, you know, sprinkle from your cup if your cup's getting depleted? Like, you know, you know. So a lot has been happening with this turning inward and learning to go with the flow of life, right? Because that's another part of the 8 of Cups and the 6 of Swords showing up, right? Being able to go with the flow. And even this person is on the shore, right? It could be super duper destructive, or it can be very awakening. And this is like they went up to the cliff or whatever, and they're like, next. You know what I mean? Like, okay, then we had to get up above that bullshit and the gravity of those situations and really get to see the big picture, right? That it's not all crap. First of all, get some balance in that equation. Love and accept yourself, because that's where everything just opens right up for you. That's the only way that you can perform this kind of crap, right? Is to have that balance within, to have your priorities in check, to know what really freaking matters to you. And to remember that, you know, if you're being a douche, it's probably because you're, you know, you got that extra snart going on. What you working on? Something's going on within you, right? And it's different for all of us. What's the caboose? See how this can help. The Pentacles have arrived. Look at that beautiful golden background again, right? Their kingdom. So whereas the King and Queen of Wands, there's that Phoenix rising energy going on, right? That rebirth. Yes. With the Pentacles, that's that slow moving earth energy, that daily progress and focus. Everyone in this kingdom is well fed and thriving. Everyone has space to exist. You know what I mean? Healthy relationships, that connectiveness. You know what I mean, right? Where's the 5? Oh, I called him out, fam. I called him out. There's the Hermit on the bottom. That's what, okay. This is someone who's been hermiting, and you know it's about time to come out. You know it's about time to kind of, you know, but you've been figuring out what that balance is for you, right? Because you're recognizing that while you do need to be a part of things, it's also very important. It's very imperative and sacred to have that time with yourself and your meditations and being centered. That's all. It really can be that simple, right? I feel like you keep catching yourself, and it's making all the difference. It really is helping, like all those baby steps. Next thing you know, you're in Albuquerque, Bugs Bunny. You know, you took that correct turn. It all worked out. I keep like telling my mom, please stop assuming the worst, begin assuming the best. What if it's better than you ever knew to imagine? Like, don't close those doors on yourself. Fuck that. But you had that epiphany a long, long time ago. Like, it's way in the past now, and I'm not telling you anything new with that. Am I? So what are the positive vibes we can leave this? This is just so encouraging, honestly. This is like you're doing exactly what you need to be doing, and you need to trust that. And here we go. Here's some confirmation that we're moving on, fam. Gray. Endings are inevitable. There are certain people that you haven't wanted to let go, but you're recognizing that they've already been fading away. You know, maybe there's someone who, either way, it's just that time. And that's easier said than experienced. But this is circle of life, whatever it may be, whether it's ebb and flow of relationships, or, you know, that person has lived a long, incredible life. And a lot of magic has occurred. And it really sucks to, you know, be here just like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you later. You know, on the bottom of that deck is villain. You can always rewrite the story. So I think it's more in the metaphorical, figurative sense. We're going to go with that one, fam. Why? Because I want to, okay? I take care of my mom. We're just going this direction. So maybe I should take that personal shit. So I keep seeing that card. That's why I'm like, oh no. When I do personal readings, my personal readings lately, this gray card keeps coming up. And I'm just human. So whatever it is, like maybe there are people who are really not liking you doing this work and evolving and growing. They're really not appreciating that you are no longer comfortable being their personal doormat, and they can suck it. All right, they can just deal and do their own work. Okay, we have 2 8s, 2 6s, 2 kings and a queen. We got the Hermit and the Lovers for those I said what I said major arcanas. We have a lot that has been ending, a lot of transitional phase and moments being represented, but we also have a beautiful beginning and an empire that's thriving with solid foundations having been built. So you just keep going, fam. I say it all the time because I mean it. Keep going. You're doing the thing. You're fucking rocking it, okay? Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I really appreciate the company. And always remember, I believe in you.